Good evening. Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. Mark Zinno is going to join us later in the show to talk Arthur Smith, the press conference where Terry Fontenot was absent at, which is absolutely crazy. We'll get to that later in the show. A lot of comments from Rich McKay and Arthur Blank that were very, very interesting, I thought, and I think you think the same as well, Alex. But we're going to start off with the national championship. Last night, Michigan rolls to their first national championship, I believe, since the early 90s or something. I don't even remember when the last time they won a natty, but it's been a while. Thoughts on this game? It was ugly. And I feel like I've watched a lot of Michigan, but a lot of it was against bad football teams. So you kind of didn't know, but I feel like this is just kind of who Michigan is. Like, they just want to muck up the game, make it ugly, and then, kind of squeeze you at the end. And that's what they did with Washington. But I think if you're looking at this from a Huskies perspective, and your opportunities to get to this point are probably going to be few and far between. I know you're going to the Big Ten, so you'll have some opportunities to prove yourself, but you got to feel like you let one slip away. I mean, when you talk about Michael Penix, who everyone was talking about the Heisman, had that great thing, he just sucked. I mean, frankly, he was terrible. Let's just call a spade to spade. He missed wide open receivers. This Husky defense, after getting absolutely penetrated for the first quarter and giving up 2 long touchdown drives, stood on its head for 2.5 quarters, basically gave Penix 9-10 opportunities to tie this game, make it a game, take the lead, whatever. And he mustered 10 points.
Got a couple of thoughts. Michigan played 2 of the sloppiest games you will ever see in the college football playoff era against Alabama and Washington. It still won the football game. And I think that speaks to the testament, the resilience of which that team is built. They played their style of fight. Washington sunk down, played to Michigan's, speed and tempo in terms of, huddling up instead of playing that up-tempo, high-octane offense we'd seen Washington play with all season long. For what reason, I have no idea. To your point, it looked like it was going to be an absolute bloodbath. And then Washington's defense kind of stepped up and showed some life. Unfortunately, I think that the moment was clearly just too big for Washington. They pissed down their leg at every opportunity, whether it was penalties, dropped balls, Michael Penix missing wide open receivers. This entire offense, at some point, one facet failed consistently. It was absolutely pathetic. I was rooting for Washington. I like the underdog story, that Cinderella story, but they pissed down their leg. I mean, it was absolutely embarrassing. I don't know how Husky fans are waking up feeling like they're going to get back to that stage, because I don't see how it's ever going to happen. They have a great head coach. I do want to say that.
That's how it's going to happen.
But that's not how it's going to happen. Washington is not a school that guy stays at for 10 years. That's a guy – he's going to go and get a better job somewhere else, that he's going to have better resources. So, frankly, I don't think Washington's ever going to get back to that point. And Michigan may be the same, because it looks – Harbaugh's probably going to the NFL from where I sit. You win the national championship. I'm tired of all these NCAA sanctions, the rules, this rule, that rule. I can't talk to a recruit because it's October 1st instead of November, just – crap after crap, and I understand it. It's probably very hectic to keep it up with it all. I feel like Harbaugh's gone to the NFL, and Michigan's probably going to be back to mediocrity here soon.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see who Michigan gets next. I mean, I'm with you there. I think Harbaugh's gone. I think that's been kind of whether they won or lost this game. I think that's what most people are thinking. And speaking of those NCAA sanctions, and if I have to hear people talk about vacated wins and vacated national championships,
nobody
I'll
cares.
jump off a bridge. Nobody cares, man. They won the national championship. Yeah. If you're a Michigan fan watching this, congratulations. I do not care.
Congrats.
Do you really think I give a damn what the corrupt NCAA comes up with? They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing.
No.
And I think I saw something on Twitter right before we hopped on here talking about an Alabama head coach saying, or a sideline, whatever, someone into the organization saying everybody's stealing signs. And then like another person, like it was basically a bunch of other coaches saying, we're all doing it, guys. Michigan wasn't the only one. We've been saying this for months.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that, but this is not groundbreaking news. I mean, me and Chase are just a bunch of kids who love this game, are obsessed with it. And we could tell you everybody's cheating. It's just the extent and Michigan getting caught. I mean, the NCAA's had it out for Jim Harbaugh since he got to Michigan because Harbaugh's outspoken. When he sees something wrong, he says it. He doesn't swallow his tongue, and the NCAA hates that. It's just the most corrupt organization in sports besides maybe FIFA.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much we have to say because we do have a ton of Falcon stuff. The one last thing I want to say, and this kind of pertains to the Falcons, and this was something that me and you were watching the game last night, and we said it 80 times. I said it on Twitter, and people were like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. This must be your second game watching. No, this is my 15th game watching Michael Penix because I had a future on it. I've watched more Washington football than Washington fans, so please stop saying stupid stuff like that. This has been Michael Penix for a large part of the year, and plus, and not totally, but this is who he is as a quarterback. He finally faced a real defense with NFL caliber playing, with pressure in his face, where, you know, he kind of didn't look confident. He looked a little gun shy, kind of like we saw Jalen Milroe. And credit to Michigan's defense. Like I said, this is the style that they wanted to play. But Michael Penix was missing wide open receivers. He was making terrible decision after terrible decision. I mean, how many times did we flash to like the quarterback eye cam and he just goes with this first read into double coverage when his other wide receiver is wide open? I mean, there was all this talk about, oh, Michael, he's so good at reading defense. He's so good at that. And it's like, yeah, when you're playing Texas, who has the 93rd ranked pass defense in the country, and the Pac-12, who doesn't have a defense outside of Utah worth a damn, yes, it looks a lot easier than it is when you're facing a team like Michigan. So I do not want to hear any of this Michael Penix first round talk. I do not want to hear any Michael Penix to the Falcons talk unless it's in like the third round. I don't even think he's a second round pick. And this is nothing against Michael Penix. He had a fantastic season, but I'm talking about my team here. Now, this is my Falcons here. Like, when we're talking strictly Falcons here, I want to do what's best for the Falcons. Michael Penix is not what's best for the Falcons. So for all the people that were hyping this guy up, talking about he should have won the Heisman, well, you didn't watch the last 8 weeks of the season. And maybe injuries had something to do with this. I'm sure something will come out, but come on, like, let's be real. We all have eyes, and this was not the first time Michael Penix has looked like that this season. I'm telling you guys.
They can all get it. J.J. McCarthy's absolutely horrible too. I mean, the guy completed 10 passes and won a national championship. People are going to hold him in high regard forever. The guy didn't do a damn thing. I mean, it was Michigan's defense in the run game that won them that national championship. J.J. McCarthy was just keeping the car on the road in between the lines. That's all he did. So this isn't just, bashing Michael Penix. J.J. McCarthy's not a first-round pick. Bo Nix is not a first-round pick. As far as I'm concerned, there's 3 quarterbacks in the draft, and that's it. If I'm a Falcons fan, I am a Falcons fan. It's Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. That's it. The rest of the guys can kick rocks.
I agree with you 100%. Coming up after the break, Mark Zeno is going to talk about why firing Arthur Smith was the wrong decision. Y'all should love it.